Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub at Adisawe, Kanda. I'm Natalie Ford.
And my name is Alfredo Conse. Coming up in the bulletin tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Senior high school applicants who have not been placed will have to wait until next year to enroll.
Parliament ratifies agreements between Ghana and some 121 countries to promote solar as an alternative source in power generation.
And President of the Kolebu Senior Staff Association, Charles Palm, appointed mediator in the ongoing saga between Kolebu Teaching Hospital and Unibank.
Also, government grants full scholarship to continuing students of the various senior high schools in the New Obuasi, formerly Dentra Obuasi.
And on the foreign front, Kenyan opposition coalition NASA wants key electoral officials sacked as part of several measures it says are necessary for a credible vote. We've got the details of these stories for you here on News 360, including the very latest from the world of sports and entertainment. Remember, this bulletin is streaming live all across the world on 3news.com as well as TV3 Ghana on Facebook.
Let's go on to our first story this evening, where senior high school applicants who have not been placed will have to wait until next year to enroll. 3 days after the deadline, parents and guardians still troop the Free Senior High School Secretariat with some concerns.
This year's computerized placement system had been fraught with several challenges. As at the first week of September, 424,092 students out of the total 460,941 who took this year's basic education certificate examination had the school of their choice, according to the GES. The deadline for placement was rescheduled 3 times until the September 30 deadline was reached, with the hope of sorting out all the issues to ensure that no junior high school graduate with a requisite qualification is left out of the placement. It's been days after the deadline for addressing all concerns regarding the free SHS policy elapsed, but unfortunately the problems have not all been sorted as expected. We are currently at the Free Senior High School Secretariat here at the Ghana Education Service, and there's a long queue of people who are here with various concerns, hoping to get some result from the Secretariat. Let's speak to some of them to find out what exactly they are here for. Hello.
I'm here for the schools, for the school placements. I get to school at Kwabena Senior High School. It's a community day school, and the place I am with to Kwabena is very far. That's why I can't come to Kwabena. So I came to choose the schools. Up to now, they have not given me the school.
They are twins. The one has gone to a non-Presby, and he want the same school for him, and they changed it here for us. But we went there yesterday, and the placement is day, but we wanted boarding. But the headmistress is access to take in boarding, but they said we should come here so that they should change to boarding to us. That's the problem that we are here.
I chose Osu Presec, Nungwa Presec, and for said only unit.
And what school did they give you?
Blanca Community Senior High at Ashanti region.
It be day school. I don't know, and North Voter. I don't know any.
There to check whether you can get a hostel or a boarding house.
I don't get money there, hostel. I don't get that money.
Others had been given different courses they did not choose, but the Ghana Education Service says nothing can be done about the situation.
There are some people who were sent for a day school and they are looking for a boarding. And when the boarding facilities are full up in all the schools, what do we do to those people? We can only comfort and tell them that this is what we were able to do, and we promise them that next year all those who have not been satisfied will be satisfied.
Reverend Jonathan Bette refuted claims some schools have vacancy but have been restricted by the GES from admitting students.
The ministry, the Director General have given opportunity to all headmasters, headmistresses to be given additional students, which they did. They came individually, which they did, and that ended everything. So if I'm hearing, or we should hear, that they said there's still a space, then they should come out and inform the minister.
If you have not been placed, or if you have any issues regarding your placement, then unfortunately there is nothing anybody can do about it. From his own words, you have to be consoled and wait for next year. Catherine Frimpoma, TV3 News.
Quite upsetting one there, but still in education, the Scholarship Secretariat has granted full scholarships to all continuing senior high school students of the Dentra-Boase community. The Hardship Scholarship Scheme is in line with measures by government and stakeholders to aid the restoration of the town.
Dentra-Boase, now New Obuasi, gained notoriety on the 29th of May 2017 when some members of the community cut short the life of Major Maxwell Mahama. The incident incurred the wrath of Ghanaians. Months after, development of the town has come to an abrupt end. Citing Joel 2 verse 25, which touches on restoration of that which has been lost or destroyed, the president of Worldwide Miracle Outreach, Dr. Lawrence Tete, stressed on the need for Ghanaians to forgive the community and give it a second chance.
The repercussion after the incident is there for all of us to see. Everybody is silent. Everybody is sad. How can we restore this back? As a people, as a nation, and this requires a collective responsibility. All hands on deck.
Chief linguist of Dentra-Boase, Ochiame Kwabena Asare, made a passionate plea to government, explaining development of the town has halted after the incident.
We are not proud of what has happened. We are really remorseful. All we can do is plead with the entire country to have mercy on us. Forgive us.
The Council of Churches in Dentra-Boase and their counterparts from Kofredia, as well as the traditional representatives from the town, expressed similar sentiments, pleading for support from government. To help in the restoration process, the Scholarship Secretariat has decided to support students in the community. Kingsley Ajimang is the registrar for the Scholarship Secretariat.
These children were in school when the misfortune happened. They did not play any role. Therefore, their future should not be jeopardized by the acts of others. We have a scholarship line we call the Hardship Scholarship that essentially takes care of feeding and lodging for those in boarding school. That pays about 459 cedis a term. The numbers that they gave us, I think, range between 78 to 100. So those in day two will be taken care of.
To be a beneficiary of the scholarship, one must be an indigene of Dentra-Boase and also a continuing student. After completion of senior high school, recipients will have the opportunity to further their education at the tertiary level. Kingsley Ajiman added, the scholarship scheme for Dentra-Boase indigenes will continue until the free SHS system takes over completely.
Well, it's pretty interesting development for, yes, an encouragement for them to go back to school. But let's see how that pans out, if it's going to encourage them to get in. Yeah, but let's talk away from education now, let's get into health, because government has appointed the president of the Kolebu Senior Staff Association, Charles Palm, as a mediator on the ongoing saga between its management and Unibank. Charles Ofei Palm is confident the issues will be resolved before the end of this month.
Already, management of Kolebu Teaching Hospital and the Unibank have traded words over the abrogation of their contract. The contract, which was awarded to Unibank last year, is to allow the bank collect revenue and later pay it into the main coffers of the hospital. However, Hip Life artist A+ raised concerns and accused the two chiefs of staff of corruption at the hospital. The development brought about public outcry. The Kolebu Senior Staff Association, KOSA, stepped in calling for ceasefire among feuding parties. Government has meanwhile appointed President of the Kolebu Senior Staff Association, Charles Ofairpam, as a mediator.
Unibank has demonstrated goodwill before it was even appointed as a bank, on-site banking company to help us collect revenue. You realize that even when they came, some of the fiber optic cables today Kolebu is using to roll its telephone lines, they were not there. They fixed them. And so they have done their part. That has to be given the necessary recognition on that. Dr. Felix Anyon, his part, has done tremendously well. We used to have problem with oxygen. He has fixed it within the shortest possible time. Today, Kolebu is making an excess of 100,000 Ghana a month. That was being used to buy oxygen. Today we have them. The second plant is being repaired. When that happens, Kolebu is going to export oxygen.
He assured to facilitate the process to resolve the problem and lauded the efforts of the management of Kolebu and Unibank at reaching an amicable solution.
You have directors being called that what is going on. I mean, those are the distractions which we think that we fought against some of these malaise in the media of Kolebu. We were thinking that Kolebu must be in the news for good reasons. And so we are achieving those gains now. We have seen gains that we have fought for. And so we don't want this continuous distraction also, whether born by merit or merit, to come and have effect on Kolebu, or come and sit on Kolebu. No, we should dissipate that quickly and then move on.
All right, so let's still stay a bit on this. Executive Director of the Coalition of NGOs in Health, Gabriel Benako, Dr. Gabriel Benako is joining us on the telephone. Good evening to you, Dr. Benako. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Now, so with this decision to have the president of the Senior Staff Association of Kolebu mediate this issue, what's your take on this? Is it a good move?
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, Ghana. I think that what our position has been that the Kolebu need a total overhaul. And as much as we appreciate the effort that they are making in terms of this crisis, we also need to be mindful of conflict of interest. So I want to pose this question. Who is the senior staff of the Kolebu hospital? And then what is the interest he has? Does he have an interest? And if he has an interest, how can that help mediate the issues? I think when there's a conflict, you need to create a very neutral environment for people to be willing to give up their best in order for reconciliation and amicable solution to be arrived. So I do not know where his position is, but the issue has to do with certain decisions that has been taken by the leadership of Kolebu, and that has necessitated all these crises that we are having. And that's why we keep on asking that the president should step in and get independent people to get the issue resolved once and for all.
Right. So for you, so this decision,
more fire to the situation.
This decision to have Charles Palm mediate, it's not for you a good one. But then what should be done? I mean, because it's not the first time we've had Kolebu caught in some controversy. So from your reading of the situation, what should be done from the coalition's perspective?
The point I'm raising is that person having an interest in any of the passion that has been created on the matter? If no, then we are all for it. But once the person has interest in one of the passions, then we don't think that is the best to mediate. So unless I'm convinced that the person that has been appointed to mediate is a neutral person, and I don't know from what you have already put in the media out there, I don't think that he is a neutral person that can bring amicable solution to this. So we think that the president should get an independent body to to deal with the matter once and for all.
I see. Beyond the administrative issues, there's politics as well in this matter. How should the president deal with this?
The president has told Ghanaians that he was not going to condone and connive with any Ghanaian, whether his party members, party red, party white, or any other Ghanaian who will not want the right thing to be done. The president had records before he became a president. We want to see him live by those principles and practices that he exhibited and catch the eyes of Ghanaians for him to get the nod to become the #1 gentleman in this country. We want to see his action. That this Kolebu issue has been happening over the years. And we want him to deal with the Kolebu matter once and for all by, one, getting an independent body to deal with the matter, and whoever is responsible for all this mayhem, cause, fashion, building empires, creating this problem here and there, telling that it's our people, it's our government who is in power, or it's they who mismanage, or whatever issue that has been happening there, and nobody was able to take a strong decision on it. We want the president to show to Ghanaians that he's really capable of dealing with the matter, irrespective of whoever is in there creating this problem. For every CEO, anytime they get a new CEO, all these problems come. So we are not interested in this piecemeal approach that that is happening. We want to see the president come out with an official statement directing what should be done by an independent body, and the issue should be dealt with.
Okay. Right. Thank you for your time this evening. I'm grateful. Dr. Gabriel Banako is the president of the Coalition of NGOs in Health.
Well, let's now turn our attention to Parliament as the House has ratified an agreement between Ghana and some 121 countries. The agreement, according to the Energy Minister, Asiedu-Dartey, is to help promote solar as an alternative source in power generation.
Members of Parliament Tuesday resumed work after 2 months on recess. The Speaker, in his welcome address, said a survey conducted showed 80% of constituents said they had not had contacts with their MPs, and the Speaker promised to assist the legislators to improve on their relationship with the people they represent.
Honourable members, we should work hard to bridge the gap between MPs and the people that they represent. Leadership and I are ready and willing to assist the House to have a seamless meeting.
Energy Minister Asiedu-Dartey laid a paper on a framework agreement on the establishment of the International Solar Alliance. He said the multinational agreement involves 121 countries and other corporate entities that reside in Sand-Ridge Belt.
We need to promote the use of solar as a source of generating power. Investors may find us attractive to come and invest in our own projects.
He added there is no cost to the parties involved.
There are no membership fees, there are no legal fees. All you are doing is somebody is creating India, under the leadership of India, they are creating a platform where we can share information. There is a timeline by which you must ratify in order to gain membership. And the time is almost up, so we have to hurry up and ratify, or else you lose out.
During the sitting, the House is expected to work on some bills.
I want to do a companies bill, a new act. Government has sounded to reinvigorate our railway system. So we're going to have to construct several laws to regulate the activities of the new creature. So we're going to have a new railways development bill.
In presenting the business statement for the week, the majority leader indicated that the Northern Development, Coastal and Middle Belt Authority bills will be worked on during this sitting, as well as a special prosecutor bill. And these possibly will be factored into the 2018 budget, which he says will be read to Parliament by the Finance Minister either on the 8th of November or 15th of November 2017. Meanwhile, the Speaker has referred the nomination of MP for Achimsredro, Kennedy Osei-Nyakon, as Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture to the Appointments Committee for vetting.
The Minister of Communications, Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, has defended the NCA's decision to sanction some radio stations for breaching the authorization permit. She was reacting to the ranking member of the Communications Committee, ABA Hussaini's remarks that the move was an attack on freedom of speech.
The Communications Minister described as unfortunate comments that the exercise was politically motivated.
For anyone to even suggest that there may be some motivation other than strict application of our laws, I think is most unfortunate. And I would chide the ranking member of the Committee of Communications for his comments that he made in that respect and ought to be withdrawn.
Though she agreed that some of the fines were high, she said it was not an attack on freedom of expression.
We must make our laws work. If every agency did perform their obligations that way, very soon this country would also be like the Western world, which we all so happily cite.
The minister warned any TV station currently enjoying digital test transmission, which does not live up to its obligations under the laws, would not be migrated onto the digital platform and would have their operations seized. Meanwhile, the ranking member of the Communications Committee, ABA Hussaini, sees nothing with the statement issued earlier.
We are not against the NCA enforcing regulations within its ambit. No, far from that. This regulation was passed in 2008. And so if you are going to go back and calculate from 2008, radio stations that have not met their obligations from 2008 and slap them and say within 30 days, you must honor those obligations within 30 days. That is excessive. And I'm sure if you listen, the minister himself said it was excessive.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has inaugurated the $51.5 million WA water supply project at Jambuzi in the Upper West region. Phase 1 of the project is to produce 3.5 million gallons of water daily and is expected to serve residents in WA and its environs.
Government secured a $55.5 million loan from the Korean Exim Bank to undertake the project expected to meet the water supply need of residents in WA and its environs. President Akufo-Addo commended the Korean government for the assistance in ensuring the realization of the project.
Continue to conserve the water. The little bills that will come, settle them so that the system can continue to run and provide you with the service. As far as the demands of the Doromona for servicing other areas of the community that don't have, including his own village, let me assure him there is going to be a second phase of this project, and in that second phase, the chief and his people will be included.
The president touched on the security situation in the WA West district.
Before my arrival here, the leadership of the police, the IGP, has sent a crack team of 14 men, led by Chief Superintendent Peter Ndebugre, from the counterterrorism unit, to come here to support law enforcement agents here, and also review and study the situation to make a report to the IGP as to the steps that need to be taken to arrest the deteriorating security situation up there.
The paramount chief of the Rimon traditional area, Na Suhimi Ninye Dana Gore II, praised President Akufo-Addo for honoring his campaign promise on fertilizer subsidy program, for which the WA district alone received 47,000 bags. He requested government to rehabilitate roads in the region and put up a share nut factory for the district as part of the One District, One Factory program. The visit to the region forms part of the president's 7-day tour of the 3 regions in the north.
And you're still watching News 360. Good evening and thanks for staying with us. Let's do some business now. My name is Nanekia Mensah Brampa. We begin from the port, and Vice President Dr. Asiedu-Dartey says the rollout of the paperless ports and the abolition of all internal custom barriers have fostered effective business environment. Speaking at the official opening of the African Single Window Summit here in Accra, he noted government did not have to provide funds to develop the paperless system at the ports.
The Single Window Summit was organized by the African Alliance for E-Commerce International in Accra. Discussions centered on improving the collection of data and sharing of information among member countries. They again focused on how to improve on transparency in the collection of taxes through a single platform. The summit, which attracted more than 500 participants, will discuss future prospects in raising revenue. Key among the discussions was streamlining operations and the need to sign on to other world trade protocols. Deputy Minister of Trade Robert Ahomka-Lindsay said the introduction of the single window has yielded positive results.
The single window facility serves as an instrument to improve the publication and availability of information such as improve transparency on fees and charges, facilitate electronic payment of duties and taxes.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia emphasized on some government initiatives at the port which have fostered economic growth.
The processes that we are now implementing were largely paperless. We were able to achieve the paperless ports without the government spending a single penny. And that was the remarkable part of this whole thing.
He again stated that the single window would facilitate the expansion of revenue generation for the World Trade Organization and other countries by 2020.
The single window reduces cost through minimal clerical effort, facilitates faster goods clearance, fosters predictability and reliability in consignment clearance, and reduces time-consuming face-to-face interactions.
Away from the ports, and some energy experts are asking government to take a second look at the cost of energy in the country. Now, this is because Ghana's power generation is in excess with an additional 470 megawatts from car power shipped to the national grid. They say until the cost is beaten down, exporting to other countries will remain a challenge. The second 470 megawatts capacity power ship, twice the size of the current car power barge, arrived in Ghana in August this year. The Cameroonese power ship Osman Khan is expected to supply uninterrupted and reliable electricity at one of the lowest prices for thermal power generation. This could significantly help improve the power supply in the country. Principal research analyst at the Institute of Energy Security, Richmond Roxon, says despite this development, cost of energy in the country still remains high.
Unfortunately for us, over the period, the kind of thermal plants that we've had have been running on light crude oil and also diesel, so they've been relatively expensive as compared to our neighbors. Once we are having cheaper fuels, definitely means that we're going to reduce the cost. Then we'll look at exporting. Definitely someone might need it. The only disadvantage is that the cost is high, so it won't be easier exporting because
Ishmael Ejukumhene of Kite believes the only way to offset the excess power generated in the country is to export to other countries. But this move is not that simple, considering Ghana's high cost of energy.
Our power is expensive because of most of these expensive thermal plants that we contracted. So unless we are prepared to sell at the price they are prepared to buy, there isn't too much option for us in the West African power pool because we're generating electricity at a much higher price than what the sub-regional average.
Meanwhile, the Institute of Energy Security has predicted fuel prices for the first pricing window in the month of October is expected to remain stable.
Generally, we expect a number of OMCs to maintain prices. We expect that a number of OMCs will also decrease gasoline price a bit and increase gas oil, because when you look at Plus benchmark, gasoline prices are dropping and gas oil prices are going up. So we expect that the same
All right, so let's head to the markets now, where prices of some local and imported goods on the market have shot up following the introduction of the 3% VAT flat rate. TV3 business checks at the Central Business District indicates a bag of rice, which cost 185 Ghana cedis, is now going for 200 cedis. President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Berma Ameya, however, says the unstable cedi is to blame for the development. Etonam Say has more on this.
The VAT flat rate scheme is a special method for collecting and accounting for VAT and NHIL. According to the Ghana Revenue Authority, registered taxpayers shall charge VAT and NHIL at a marginal rate of 3% on the value of their taxable sales. The scheme, which was introduced on 1st August 2017, replaced the 17.5% flat rate. However, some traders say its introduction has rather resulted in an increase in prices of goods. 34-year-old Elvis Otu is a wholesaler of Nestle products here at the Central Business District of Accra.
It has affected drastically. If you could make 5,000 or 10,000 a daily sale, it has now reduced like 50–60%.
After consistent decline this year, for the first time, inflation for August 2017 increased from 11.9% to 12.3%.
According to figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service, reasons for the increase in headline inflation for August is as a result of introduction of the 3% VAT flat rate, as well as increase in prices of petroleum products.
A carton of Ideal milk, which cost 56 cedis, is now going for 65 cedis. A carton of Milo in July was costing 127 cedis, but is currently sold for 138 cedis. A large size pack of diaper, which was selling for 70 cedis, is now selling for 89 cedis. Elvis Otu believes 17.5% rate would have been ideal.
If you calculate the 3% on the old prices, it's different from now. If you calculate it, it doesn't match. It's far higher.
But President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Berma Ameya, blamed the unstable cedi for the development. Maame Sewa, a retailer of local and imported tomato paste, wants a solution to the situation, as this is affecting sales. Latest fiscal data covering government's financial operations ending April 2017 revealed government ended the first 4 months of the year missing out on its revenue target. Some analysts say if a major intervention is not introduced to increase sales, we may be missing the overall 2017 target of 34 billion cedis. Etonam Say, TV3.
Well, I'm sure people like Alfred would have to start buying things in bulk monthly so that they don't incur lots of costs.
Absolutely, Alfred. I agree with you. Now, I don't even know what to do. We are resorting to local food. I mean, Gary and all of that. Even Gary, a local of Gary has gone up. And I'm wondering, hey, anyway, but you see, in a conflict between man and nature, who wins? In the following report, Stanley Niblewu shows how a timely intervention by a tour guide at the Mole National Park prevented what could have been a fatal attack on the entourage of the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts.
The entourage, led by the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Catherine Abelema Afeku, was in the northern region to acquaint themselves with some tourist attraction sites in the region. After visiting the Larabanga Mosque and the Mystic Stone in the West Gonja district, the entourage proceeded to the Mole National Park. After a 7-minute drive into the park, a siren emanating from the convoy's motorcade attracted this elephant. For over 30 minutes, the ministerial convoy was held hostage by this elephant. The timely intervention of a tour guide at the scene brought some temporary relief. However, the elephant would still not budge and remained on the road. The tour guide then had to improvise and devise all manner of tricks to make the elephant move. Just when the entourage thought the elephant had eventually given in, it returned, this time, chasing tourists away. After about 15 minutes, the elephant was eventually brought under control.
Don't move.
Police officers accompanying the convoy were all gripped with fear, especially the driver of the motorcade. And this was how he escaped from the scene. The situation at the Mole National Park brings to the fore security of tourists. With the Mole National Park hosting about 94 different types of animals, it is expected that the Forestry Commission will do more to ensure the safety of tourists at the site.
Oh wow, certainly imagine how scary that would have been. That elephant seemed to be on a mission. But it does bring to question the security. It certainly does.
I mean, it's interesting moments we're talking about elephants.
It does. It brings the issue of security to play.
Absolutely.
It does. We're still live here on News360. We've got sports news for you in a few moments' time. Stay with us.
Hi, it's time for us to bring you all the latest in the world of sports. Remember, TV3 is 20 years and we are still celebrating. But today we are going to be starting off with the Black Stars. And Ghana coach Kwesi Appiah will train with his players for 4 days in Kenya ahead of the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Uganda on Saturday. 18 players are in camp at the moment. 16 players trained with head coach Kwesi Appiah and the technical members. Captain Asamoah Gyan, Harrison Afo, Jonathan Mensah and Thomas Ejapong have been omitted due to respective injuries. Now the Black Stars opened their camp in the East African country on Monday, where some foreign-based players and 3 local-based players have already assembled. The final batch of 3 players that includes Patrick Chumesi, Rafael Jamina and Nicholas Opoku are expected to arrive in camp to make the 21-man squad. All right, so away from that, we go to some local football. I'm talking some Ghana Premier League. And Accra Hearts of Oak are still hoping they can catch up with leaders Asiedu-Dartey and Wafa in the title race as well. So they also clash, with WA All Stars. Now, head coach Frank Nuttall believes his players will have exactly what it takes to defeat WA All Stars twice in a row.
A group of players that will be very focused and very motivated to try to win the game. So nothing changes. Whether it's 4 games or 40 games, we'll be focused and prepared and motivated to give our best. The spirits are high. We've had a good, relatively good season so far, but as I say, we're going to push right to the last game of the season and see where we end up at the last game of the season.
I think the motivation is so high for now. It's more than 100%. Semi-finals game is always different from the league. So the mentality of the players now has changed towards that game. So by all means, we will score them.
All right, so that is it then with Frank Nuttall, the Scottish manager in the Ghana Premier League. But the mistake there earlier was the fact that I said Hearts are to play Wafa. Rather, it's WA All Stars, so forgive me for that. But the Asiedu-Dartey Stars will be playing against Wafa, and that is a top-of-the-table clash, on Wednesday, because Asiedu-Dartey Stars are leading Wafa by, just a single point. So if Wafa are able to win that, they obviously go to the top. And, of course, whoever wins this game would have a step, would have made a step closer to the title. Asante Kotoko come up against Ashanti Gold, and that will be another titanic clash. It is the Ashanti Derby over there, 2 of the great teams in that particular region. Brecum Chelsea will face Bichem United. Ebusua Dwarfs against Inter Allies, and then Boga All Stars will travel to Great Olympics. Boga All Stars really are struggling. Great Olympics are not doing or playing the best football in the country either, but this should definitely be an entertaining encounter in Accra. Tema Youth are struggling at the moment, and they'll be looking to make sure they play to their utmost best against Elmina Sharks, and that will be another tasty encounter. Mediama Sporting Club will be coming up against Liberty Professional. So these are the fixtures when it comes to the Ghana Premier League Match Day 27. Just 3 days or 3 match days remaining in this particular one. It gets very, very interesting. Now to some more national team assignments, some national team news. And ahead of Zambia's crucial 2018 World Cup qualifier against Nigeria this weekend, the team has pitched camp here in Accra to acclimatize to the weather and get themselves ready for the fixture. Yafo Sulabi was at the Lizzie Sports Complex this morning, where the Chipolopo, trained and has come through with his report.
World Cup qualifiers across the continent this weekend, and as we know, in Group B, Nigeria taking on Zambia in a very, very crucial game. Nigeria have 10 points, Zambia just on 7 points, and that game will be played in Oyo. 20 players of the Zambian side are here training at the Lizzie Sports Complex in Accra, including goalkeeper Kennedy Mwene and Stopila Sunzu, who led the Zambians to the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia will be hoping to beat Nigeria in Oyo to qualify for the World Cup for the very first time.
It will be fireworks on Saturday when the Chipolopolo take on the Super Eagles in the penultimate round of matches in Group B. Nigeria, top of the pile, looked certain for qualification when Moses Simon scored in the 30th minute in Yaoundé, until the goal was cancelled out from the spot by Vincent Abubakar. Zambia, on the other hand, had inflicted a rare defeat on Algeria when 18-year-old Patson Daka scored a late goal. The results pegged Nigeria back and propelled Zambia forward. The Zambians, brimming with confidence, are just 3 points shy of leaders Nigeria, and coach Wedson Yirenda is confident his boys can upset the flights of the Super Eagles.
They came to our place. They played a totally different team. They beat us 2-1. But I think this team is totally different from the team they beat when we just started in these qualifiers. So it will be a very interesting game in Oyo. Yes, they are a strong team. They have the Moses, the Wobbies, and other big players like Rechis and whatever. So I think that will make us play a good game, because I think the players are self-motivated, just playing the big guys.
Nigeria have some stellar names in their ranks. Talk of players who have played the game at the highest level. On paper, the Zambian team does not match up to the Nigerian team in any department. But one of the longest-serving members of the Chipolopolo, Chisamba Lungu, is adamant that names do not play football.
Well, I can describe Nigeria as a good team, good players, great players, I may say. But, in football, because for me to be where I am, I've fought with great players, because when you want to be great, you have to compete with great players. So Nigeria, for me, they're just any other team like we have played before. I have so much respect for them. It's not like I'm disrespecting.
And that's exactly where we bring an end to the sports bulletin right here on News 360. My name is Thierry, and thanks for sticking with me.
On August 28th, TV3 reported on the ordeal of Sikh musician Jiwalaka, who had to endure excruciating pain descending from a 3-story apartment anytime he was to visit the hospital. Jiwalaka also was battling stroke and diabetes. Also, RI reports the veteran musician can now afford a sign of relief as he is being relocated to a disability-friendly apartment.
Last one. Last one. We are not chance.
Until TV3's report, the alien music icon went through a distressing experience anytime he was to be moved from the top floor of this flat to see a doctor for assessment. Jewel will no more have to suffer the nightmare and agony thanks to a decision by his children to relocate him to a more comfortable home.
Here is a new apartment that his children have gotten for him, just to make sure that he doesn't go through all the stress that he goes through anytime he has to be taken to the hospital. So we just walk in and find out how Mr. Jiwalaka is doing. So with him there is the president of the Musician Union of Ghana, and he, together with the leadership of the Aging Musician Welfare Fund, Amway Fund, they came through to show solidarity with Mr. Jiwalaka. So quickly, we'll find out from Mr. Jiwalaka how he is doing. Daddy, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Hope you are doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing well, bit by bit. It's better than the first time. This time I'm kicking up because I've left the upstairs and I come downstairs. So.
And then the other time when we came to you, realized that it was a very difficult task moving from the top.
Difficult. Even the steps, my waist, my legs, everything. Oh, come on, it's tedious.
So what have you realized the difference now? We can walk up there and then we'll watch around and see who is passing. And
as you know, the doctor that we went to him, he did well by giving me good medicine and all this stuff and that. Now I'm becoming okay. I can walk now, but not too much. But bit by bit, God will put me in the right way.
And which other changes? I have seen that the swelling parts have all gone down.
Yeah, the swelling part, my stomach and everything is coming down. I'm becoming okay.
All right, so your fans, those who are worried that Mr. Jolaka is not doing well, they can afford a smile now.
Oh, they have to.
But how do you find this environment?
It's very nice. You can see it for yourself. You haven't gone through all the goddamn thing. If you go through, you see that. It's very nice. My other place too is very nice. But here is so beautiful more than other side. TV3 is the place that you watch good news, entertainment, everything that you want to get in the TV3, you will get it.
Well, it certainly is very rewarding to see stories get results, and congratulations to Usuarai and the entire entertainment team here at TV3 for that. Still in entertainment, actor turned musician Kojo Nkansa Lil Wayne surprised patrons at Stonebwoy's A Shaman to the World concert when he joined Patapar on stage while he performed his trending song One Corner. Patapar had earlier accused Lil Wayne of attempting to coerce him to owning his hit song. This attracted the rage of some music enthusiasts who condemned the Kumawood actor the alleged attempts to steal Patapar's shine.
Well, but let's reiterate again, Usuarai and the rest of the team, congratulations to you. And to those of you who are watching us who respond to this kind of stories that we do, we want to say thank you to you. We are changing lives through the news that we do here on TV. We're grateful. We're grateful. On behalf of the rest of the team here on News360, thank you for watching us. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I'm Natalie Fort. Remember, we've got more news on our website, 3news.com, and news at 10 later this evening. We'll simulcast on our sister station, 3FM at 92.7. Next is Tashan. Enjoy your evening.